Hi, welcome to my new painting space within the Hope & Co studio. Come on in. So this is where I'm painting at the moment. I've got two stations. I've got an acrylic station and I have an oil station. This space actually was outside and we had the roof replaced. It was very dark out here even though it was outside because it was all closed in, so we put some perspex right up the top so we get lots of light. We obviously have the windows here. I've got the doors at the back I can open on a sunny day, but it's essentially probably not big enough for me, but this is where I'm working at the moment, and I'm hoping that we sort of get a workflow space happening here, and I'll work out which way I best work in here. And it's really lovely and warm on a sunny day and I really love it. It's a great place to actually be in. I just wish it was double the size, but it still works. When I couldn't really afford an easel, and I still probably don't want to put the money into a really fancy easel, I painted on a very static half table that came out of the shed, and so I'm used to painting where it's static, and then when I need to put it down on a table, I need to put it down on a table, which is why I've got a big table. So I've also got a footstool if I want to go higher, so it's me moving rather than the easel moving. But essentially I got my husband, Pete, to put in some little IKEA shelves, and just side by side, and you can get them fairly cheaply at IKEA, and he's done that for my acrylic station and my oil station. And I didn't have enough room really to put a big horizontal piece here, but look, I can swap it over if I want. But basically they're just shelves, wooden shelves, run side by side, and they're great because they sort of just keep the piece in its place while I'm working on it. Okay, so a couple of these, I just wanted to point out a couple of things. I'm not getting any kind of kickback. I have some favourite paints. A couple of these I've had for like 20 years, Matisse Blow, and they've never dried out. Amazing. But I have to say my very, very, very favourite, I do love Matisse and I love their structured paints, but oh my god, I'm obsessed with Liquitex paints. I just love their butteriness for their structured paints are just amazing, and they stay really beautifully liquid in their tubes, and I love the texture of them. So if I had to pick a favourite, I would say definitely the Liquitex, followed by Matisse. I do love Chavin, the Parisian paints. They're beautiful colours, but they tend to dry out in the tube, and I've lost a couple of lids, so I'll have to cut those open. They tend to dry out in the tubes a bit more, and that's a bit frustrating. But yeah, and I sometimes grab crazy sort of like unusual greens and colours, and look, this is only poster paint obviously and not particularly quality, but sometimes it's fine mixed in with others. And I actually love this pistachio and it's nearly finished. So yeah, Kaiser Colour, I've got a whole range of Montmartre. These do, I have to say, they're fine to paint with, but they do dry out in the tubes as well. So yeah, that's my favourite. So as far as my oils are concerned, some people ask me what brands do I use. Well, I'm again just obsessing at the moment over Gamblin, and I'm just trying other brands. I do love Art Spectrum paints, and I've got those in kind of all sorts of different larger versions of them. I have got some sort of variations of things that I've bought along the line, and some paints that I've bought online, Chinese brands. Look, I'm finding them okay for what I want, but I am testing out, I suppose, my favourites as I go, because I've only just got back into oils after a long time. So I've got a bit of a mixture. The best thing about oil paints is they really, if you haven't touched them for a while, really stay, they're fine in the tube. and I'm gathering some more of the mediums. I love using Liquin, that hasn't changed, Winsor & Newton, but I really love Gamblin for all of their art spectrum again, and also an Australian company, Langridge, and I really love their products as well, and I've got a few of theirs to play with. But Gamblin, look, these I've had for years and I haven't used them, but this is Galka Gel, for instance, and it's absolutely fine in the tube. So looking forward to lots of experimentation.
So from a lighting perspective, why does this space work so well? Where's the light coming from?
Okay, so the light in here is probably best in the morning because it's kind of, the east is over in that direction, and so I don't get direct light, and as you see, as the morning progresses, the light starts to come in through the windows, and it can affect especially late afternoon as the light comes in onto a canvas. If I'm working on that's pretty hard, but I can always move things around, and but it's just so lovely and light, and it's got a really lovely feel about it, this space, and I'm really enjoying it. It's not finished, I've still sort of got stuff everywhere. I probably need better storage, but all these things have to be worked on while you're still trying to produce work. And I'm going to be releasing a collection in about a month, 6 weeks, so I really have to get my skates on.